Peace and greetings. Presenting the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, providing in-depth information on society and culture in America and abroad, bringing you truth messages of inspiration, keen insight, reputable interviews, and so much more. So now, for the truth you've been waiting for, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast, Aura, the informationalist.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
Yes, peace and greetings, people. This is Aura, the informationalist, and you're now tuned in to the Network of Awareness. And we got a great show lined up for this Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday to be exact. And I'm going to have a brother that I met on Instagram and have gotten to know. And we've been supporting each other for quite some time, man. And I'm glad that I'm finally going to be linking up with this brother. And the brother that I'm going to be introducing in just a moment goes by Julio Arce. And he is a Mexicano from California. So to all my peoples from Cali, this is one of your own. And to all the listeners out in Mexico, this is one of your brothers, one of your hermanos de la raza, one of the caballeros, one of the real ones. And we're going to be bringing him on the show. But before we do, the title of the show is called Health is Your Wealth and Worth. And the reason I titled it that because Julio is a big proponent of Kangen alkalized ionic water. And just like myself, he is an alkaline water drinker. And he also is a vegan, and he's very much into health, very much into eating right? Because health is your true wealth. And he's also a man of the Most High, a man of God. And he's very much rooted into Christ, the Messiah, and just a good brother that I've been getting to know. And I said, you know what, Julio, we got to bring you on the show so you could talk about the things that you do, things that you know. So we're going to talk about health is the wealth and the worth. And we're going to give him a warm round of applause in just a moment. So let's get this show started, shall we? Yes, people, welcome to the show. Julio Arce, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Let's go, Reggie. I'm doing good, brother. I'm blessed. I'm honored to be here, bro. Thank you for having me. And hopefully I could share some value, knowledge, and we could wake some people up, and let's go, brother. I'm ready.
Okay, so thank you for coming on the show. And why don't you give a brief intro and let the people know who you are and some of the things that you do, and then we'll get this show started.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Julio Arce. I was born in Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. And my mom brought us here when I was 2 years old, here to California. And I pretty much lived all my life here in California. I'm 41 now. And throughout my life, I struggled with health. You know, I've gained weight. I've become obese and lost. And pretty much I've been a heavy set guy the majority of my life. And at the age of 37, that's when my health was just deteriorating, and I had to go to the hospital, and my doctor told me that I had to do something about my health, or else I wasn't gonna be able to live to see 50. And at that time I was 37, so I was like, whoa. And I have 2 kids at that time too, so I was like, I have to do something about my health. And that decision led to this, and that's how I met Reggie, through Instagram. This was 4 years ago that I started my page, and slowly but surely I just been, just implementing my daily routines and just staying healthy. I'm a vegan. It's hard transitioning as a meat eater. Trust me, it's really hard. But for me, in my situation, my whole family, it's a blessing. My transition was so at ease that I didn't like really struggle enough with my family to make that transition. So we're here, and we're just providing value and just informing people out there that there's an alternative to a just healthier way of living. And that's pretty much what I'm into, and just providing value and impacting the world one person at a time. So yeah.
Absolutely, brother. And one thing about your platform on Instagram, which we're going to have in the description page for anybody who wants to follow Julio, goes by Alkalized Warrior. You just be putting out some great content, bro. Like, I was very much impressed when I first came across your platform last year. And it's really been helpful to me in some of the information you've provided. I've shared it on my platform as well. And what the first question that I want to ask you is, how did you get introduced to the Kangen water, which is the ionic alkalized water? How did that can you let the people know how you found out about it, how you came to, wind up getting it, and, now you're a distributor of it as well. So how did that process all begin?
Yeah, most def. Well, on my search, when I got the news from my doctor saying that I needed to change, I needed to, look for other ways of being healthy, I started just doing my research, going into online, Instagram, whatever I could find, and just searching for healthier ways and to better my health. And I just came upon Dr. Sebi. And I just started like going into his stuff and liking his stuff. And just the algorithm there, once you start just liking certain posts, it starts throwing you certain people that follow that niche or that hashtag, whatever. And there was this guy by the name of Jason. He's well known in the Kangen business. He's a professional skateboarder, and I saw his videos, and I see how he was like getting this water and just emulsifying the oil, and I'm like, wait a minute, but it's water. How could oil and water don't mix? So I just started, having a conversation with him. One thing led to another, and I went to a demo here nearby my house, and I was sold because the minute I saw the water, and because there's so many uses for this water that, man, it's you just can't talk in just one podcast. But yeah, that's how I was introduced, and just doing my research and just, doing my due diligence.
Absolutely. I mean, it is quite amazing how many uses you can use with the water, and also with the acidic water that it releases. I didn't realize that, when it was first introduced to me, and they were showing me that you can clean your house with the acidic water. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I remember seeing a demonstration as well by a brother named Rob Shields that I used to work with, and he already was on it. I had just got into it, and we were talking about it, and he was like, you can take out the toxins, the pesticide toxins from your fruit with the acidic water and then clean it with the alkaline water. I said, really? So he actually showed me, and he took a pear. And like you well know, Julio, that a lot of our foods have pesticides and all types of other GMO chemicals. So he took the pear, dipped it in the acidic water, and the acidic water completely turned black. Then he took the pear out and dipped it into the ionized water. It was a 9.5 that he dipped it in. And he left it in there for about a good 2 minutes. And then we actually ate it. And I got to tell you that it tasted so good. And we tasted the difference from just washing it, a regular pear with, tap water, and then eating it. And then tasting it through the other process, and it was completely different because the acidic water took out all the pesticides that were sitting on top of the fruit. So it just tasted so much more pure that a
normal tap water won't do because oil and water don't mix.
That's right.
So you can't use regular tap water to you're actually adding more chemicals to it because I don't know if you notice, but they add chlorine, they add fluoride, they add bromine.
Oh,
they add all these sorts of chemicals into our tap. So we're adding more fire to the fuel. So yeah, it was mind boggling. Like when I saw that demonstration and I tasted it too, like the difference when the one that was washed with the 11.5 oil emulsifier and just the one that was just tap washed, you could taste the sweetness on the one that you took off the pesticides. Like, wow, it's like, this is amazing. Like, how come people don't know about this?
You know
it's
what?
Been around for 45 plus years.
You know what I would like to see too in regards to it is, and maybe there is somebody who's already created it, but do they have like an alkaline ionized filtration system to shower with? Has anybody come up with that?
Most definitely. We do have a shower unit.
Okay, because that's what I got to get into. I haven't looked into the Kangen water industry for a while because when did I get the machine? I got the machine back in 2007, I believe, or 6. So I never look into the websites and all of that and how they've grown since then, and I'm pretty sure they have, but I definitely got to check you out for that.
A bundle called the Trifecta where you get the shower unit, the drinking unit, and they actually sell turmeric supplements that's made and filtered with the Kangen water. So
oh wow,
it's called the Trifecta. Yeah, it's called the Trifecta.
Wow, that's great, bro. That's great. I got to look into that. So we're going to definitely talk about that offline.
Yeah, brother.
So obviously a lot of my listeners know about alkaline water, but they don't really know a lot about the ionized alkaline water through Kangen. Can you talk about what it's done for your life health-wise since you've actually started drinking it on a regular basis, like you're drinking some right now?
Right. Yes, most definitely. Well, when I went to the demo, they gave me to sample the water. So I brought home 2 gallons. And the thing about this water that it mimics the spring water, the mountain spring, that you got to drink it within 48 hours. So the second you dispense it out of the spout from the medical device, because this is what it is. It's a medical device. It comes out of the spout. The second it comes out, as soon as you drink it, is the best benefits you get because it's fresh. It's like if you're drinking it out of the mountain springs. Because Kangen water is just like any other water. If you bottle it, it's going to become acidic. Because we do not know how long that water that we buy in the stores, we don't know how long it's been sitting in the warehouse. We don't know how long or when it's been processed. So we have to know what we're putting inside our temple. So that's one of the things that got my attention too, because water is so key and so essential to hydrate our body, that we need to hydrate our organs in order to have optimized health. So that's one of the first things that when I drank it, that's one of the first thing that I noticed, that as soon as you drink it, within 15 to 30 seconds of drinking the water, your organs are wherever your organs need to be hydrated. That's where the water is going to go. And as soon as you drink it, you feel alertness. You feel like a spark, because I don't know if your listeners know, but we are walking batteries. We are living, breathing, walking batteries. So the ionized water is charged. So when we drink it, our batteries get recharged. So you feel it right away. Not only that, you detoxify yourself on a daily basis, and you don't even know it, because the way you detoxify the body is through the urine. So this is one of the things. A lot of people see it as a pro, and other people see it as a con. But when you start drinking the water, you're going to notice that you're going to start going to the restroom a lot. And not because you're going to have diarrhea, or not because, it's because the body needs to cleanse itself. So every time you drink the water, and if you're toxic, you're going to feel sick, because in order for the body to heal, it has to get rid of all the toxins. So that's one of the key things that I saw with the water that helped me. It helped me detoxify my body. And not only that, it helps you if you're in a journey of losing weight, or just like gaining muscle or something. This is one tool that you'll use in order for you to get there fast, to accelerate the process. So not only are we going to use the Kangen water, we have to know what we're eating as well, because are you eating to fuel the body, or are you eating to entertain the body? So yeah, a lot of benefits. I've seen my wife, she's seen her skin smoother. She had white spots on the side of her, like on the back of her ear, and they're gone. One of my uncles had athlete's foot. There's tons of testimonials that the water has been. But in my takeaway is the detoxification, because in order for us to be healthy, in order for us to have a good immune system, we have to have the proper fuel and the proper resources in order for it to be optimized. So I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm talking too much.
No, that's fine. You're giving a wealth of information. And I love what you said. You said, are you eating to fuel the body, or are you eating to entertain the body? And the reality is, like you and I and like other people have in the past, and some of us are still doing it, where we're eating to entertain the body, especially when it comes to eating things that we like that are not healthy for us. So when we're eating things that are not healthy for us, we're eating it for the joy and the entertainment of the taste and
the pleasure, yes.
The pleasure that it gives us. But in the long run, it's self-destructive in what we're eating.
Yes.
Because a lot of the food and our governments that are in control of it, especially when it comes to the FDA, they're literally poisoning us. That's what they're doing. They're putting all of these toxins, not just in the food, but like you said, fluoride. And for those that don't know, fluoride is a deadly chemical substance that you're not even supposed to really.
It's a waste chemical.
Yeah, you're not even supposed to, you can't even touch it with your bare hands. You got to wear like a gas mask and
let
gloves.
Alone drink it.
You got to be in a suit, and this is what they've been putting in the water. And that was all inspired by Germany, because Germany, back in the Hitler days, back in the Nazis, they were putting fluoride in the water supply throughout the whole country. And then, of course, everything that Germany did, the United States wound up adapting as well. And some of that the United States was doing anyway, from a long time ago. And it's been very well verified and tested that fluoride is not good for the body. So to all you dentists out there that tell the kids and tell the parents that we have healthy teeth because of fluoride, that is a big lie. So stop lying, because fluoride does not keep your teeth healthy. I can tell you that I think one of the reasons why I have no cavities. I'm going to be 45 years old. I have never had a cavity in my life. And I think a lot of it is because I've been drinking alkaline water. There was even a point where I got so obsessive with it that I actually brushed my teeth with alkaline water. I don't do it anymore, but I need to probably get back on that just because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, maybe I should, because it's good to brush your teeth with coconut oil. But I'm like, maybe I should start brushing and rinsing my mouth with alkaline water now instead of just using regular tap water, from the shower.
Do you mean oil pulling? Oil pulling? That's what you do with the coconut?
No. I brush my teeth with toothpaste that's organic, and it has coconut oil in it. So I brush my teeth with coconut oil. But you can actually just take coconut oil from a jar and brush your teeth with it and rinse it out, and your teeth are going to stay strong. Your gums are going to be healthy. I'm going to be 45 years old. I don't have a cavity. My daughter
That's
has
amazing.
my daughter has 4 cavities and she's already 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, not a lot of people can say that.
And I ate a lot of candy, brother. I was a Skittles fanatic.
Now you're just showing off, bro. Now you're just showing off.
I was eating candy like crazy, bro. I mean, even like in my older years, bro, I was eating candy, I had that sweet tooth. But I stopped. I stopped. Actually, I went on a candy binge last year, and then I stopped, and I haven't been back on it since then. Especially when I found out that Skittles has all these damn toxins, and I was like, what?
Red 5, yellow 6, and blue 4. Oh my God. Yes.
I had all that stuff in my body for years, bro. Didn't even realize it.
Bro.
But, drinking alkaline water, I probably got rid of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But still, the thing is that we are in a world we live in, especially here in the United Shenanigans of America. We live in a place where it's just like an overload of deception. Everywhere you see, not just physically, mentally, spiritually. Like this is a place. This is ancient Babylon. Relived already. This is Rome on steroids.
Yeah.
And it's very
repeating itself.
Absolutely. It's just very important that we stay aware of all these things. That's why I'm so grateful that the Most High gave me this platform to inform people, to meet brothers like yourself.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Yeah, that are doing positive things, and are really living a life and constantly elevating their lives to serve the Most High. And I think it's so important that people like us, brothers and sisters like us, continue to get together and form communities, not just of awareness, but of brothership and sistership, fellowship in this truth. Because the time is now. We are in the days of revelations, and the truth is being revealed. The Most High is realer than ever he has been before in people's lives. And
amen.
The enemy is drawing near. They're working overtime to try to keep us down. And that's why it's so important that we educate each other and uplift each other. Because what else are we going to do? Go along with the enemy so that we could be destroyed? When it's time for judgment. So
that's what they want.
Exactly. They want us to believe that the Most High is not real.
But we need to, now more than ever, that's key what you just said, because now more than ever, we need to unite and we need to form a community where these people are like-minded and that have different skill sets. Because what's going to happen when the grid goes out? We're going to go back to the Little House on the Prairie days. And who are we going to turn to? We're going to turn to each other because that's all we're going to have.
Absolutely.
And that's what they don't want. That's why they have division. That's what they want. Blue versus red and right versus left and all this type of shenanigans, like you say. And they just want to keep us busy and just distracted and divided. And it's same thing goes with sports. Same thing goes with everything, with food. If you're vegan, I'm carnivore. I'm paleo. I'm a keto, and everything is so competitive. It's like,
Yeah.
they just keep us distracted on our feet, on our toes, and just like.
Yep. I say potato, you say potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's been the modus operandi for thousands of years, and it's only become more advanced with technology and in the manipulation and the social conditioning and engineering of it all. And with that being said, you do live in California, and
I do.
shout outs to all my listeners in California. Greatly appreciate your love and support.
California
and
love.
I got one
Yes,
of your
sir.
I got one of your very own on the podcast today. So tell
It's
us a little
pleasure
bit
and an honor.
about California, man. Like there's so much going on over there, bro. And I know we can't. We would have to spend like 3 or 4 days talking about it. But what are some of the significant things that you've seen changed within the state of California that has really been detrimental to people's well-being?
Oh man, these regulations, man. We can't, for a small business to grow here, it's slim to none, bro. Slim to none. I have family members that had to leave California because they're going to start implementing these new regulations by 2023, where if you make certain amount, you're going to have to pay more than 50% of your profits. So they're going to tax you more than 50% of if you have a small business here in California, you're going to pay more than 50%. So I recommend all of you that are thinking to moving to California and you have a small business, don't do it. You're going to be out of business the second you walk in.
So can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by 50? What are you paying 50% of?
So whenever you have okay, let's take for instance an example. My sister, she has a small business. She has a body contouring, lymphatics, and she does all these things, post surgery stuff, and all that. So everything that she makes, revenue, whatever, gross, she's gonna have to end up paying more than 50% of what she makes back in taxes. She was doing everything. Yeah, she's doing all the numbers, and she's saying, okay, from all the policies and regulations that are gonna come in this upcoming year, I'm gonna pay more than 52% of what I'm bringing in. No, that's ridiculous. So yeah, bro, that's one thing. And then homelessness. Ever since
we're gonna talk about that, because I want you to hold off on the homelessness, because that's something I was gonna talk about Skid Row with you.
Yeah, bro,
so let's hold off on that for just a second, because I was gonna dig into that one. But let's talk more about these taxes, because this is amazing, because one thing that I've realized in the last 15 years is that the corporatocracy here in because America is a corporation. It's not even a country. It's a corporation.
It is.
And our birth certificates and our social security numbers all tied into the stock exchange.
Yes.
But the reality of the corporatocracy rising has been realer now than ever before. And I'm thinking, as I'm hearing you talk about your sister's small business, I'm like, if you what they're trying to do by design is systematically eliminate small business to where only the big corporations can thrive throughout the whole entire state.
Absolutely.
Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Even a blind person could see that.
Wow, that's insane, man. And I just feel like a lot of this is going to have to come to an end. I just don't see the enemy winning. Satan's already lost the war, and I just look at it like people that are in California that are working hard, like your sister, to establish something for themselves, like we all should be doing. We all should do something entrepreneurially, because what we're seeing right now, especially online with just not just social media, but just the internet as a whole, now is the time really to do stuff independently, because working for other people and doing the 9 to 5, man, even like for people that don't want to do something by themselves, working a 9 to 5, it's almost impossible to survive. It's like you got to have 2 or 3 9 to 5s if you want to survive. That's why it's so important to have multiple streams of income in order to really thrive in this corporation called the United States of America. So I think that's crazy that people like your sister have to go through that. So people, if you like, for especially those that want to move to California, you hopefully you have a really good paying job with some corporation, because trying to do the independent business, you're going to go through some major struggles. But where there's a will, there's a way, you know. So I pray that your sister finds a way to overcome and find a lot of ways to do tax write-offs under the LLC and all that, because that's what a lot of wealthy people do out here. You know, that's what Trump does, right? He had to, how many? I think he paid like $2 in taxes. Literally
and
paid like $2 in taxes.
People hate him for that. The people hate him for that.
But it's engineered to serve the elite, those that are in his position. You know, and it's important. I don't think it's important for us to find out those loopholes. I think temporarily it is, but I think it's more important for us to be self-sufficient, to really start establishing, like you were mentioning earlier, a community that's already off the grid before the grid shuts down. And if we can start operating off the grid before the grid even shuts down, so that when it does shut down, we don't give a crap, because we don't need the grid. The grid needs us. We are the resource. We are the supply of energy. Like you mentioned earlier, we are the batteries that they need, right? Like in the Matrix, when they were harvesting humans as batteries. Without the harvesting of humans as batteries, the machine can't work. So if the United States being the machine doesn't have us to be the source of supply for their energy, then they can't exist. And that's what people need to realize. That's right. You shift the whole entire, and we can shift the consciousness to Christ, right? Through the Christ consciousness, because, you know, through the Christ consciousness, it's all about serving each other. It's about building each other up through the righteousness of the word, through the word of God, the Most High. That's where it's at.
We are the pillars. Yes.
Absolutely, brother. So with that being said, let's talk about a major problem in California that is literally worse than third world countries, which is Skid Row, the homelessness out there in California. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, it's the famous Skid Row, right? When people talk about homelessness in California, but you don't even have to go to Skid Row anymore, bro. You could just go to the just normal suburban areas and you'll see a little patch anywhere you go now. There's businesses run down. There's warehouses run down. There's mental people out on the streets that need help, that don't need to be on the street. That, like I was going to mention before, in the Ronald Reagan era, they used to have all these institutions for I remember the mentally ill, and they got rid of all of that. And ever since they got rid of all of that, the rise in homelessness has become like, oh my God. Well, I've noticed it here in California. It's become ridiculous. It's like you can't go into a neighborhood where you see just like a little patch of just this little community of homeless people just living there, just, setting up shop. And you don't even have to go to Skid Row. Now imagine how Skid Row is right now.
Yeah, I heard that there was, because there's so many documentaries about Skid Row now.
Yeah,
and
bro.
One of the documentaries I was watching on Netflix, that there's a rise in hepatitis because of the lack of cleanliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like people pretty much crapping all over the streets, you know?
Yeah.
And all of the disease that the lack of cleanliness and poor hygiene has increased the rise of hepatitis within this community of homelessness, which some people have statistically said that the level of homelessness in Skid Row is equivalent to third world countries in poverty. And I find that to be amazing because it's like it's like when you go to Skid Row, and I've never been there, but if I do go to California, I do want to check it out just to see it for myself. But they say it's like a whole nother world.
Yeah,
it's literally a world within a world. Oh yeah. The thing is too is that I heard in the documentary that the gangs literally charge the homeless rent to set up their tents. Like they charge them like $1 or $2 a day. I thought that was insane, bro.
Isn't that sad?
It is. It's very sad.
It's like you not only I'm sorry to cut you, but
no, that's
not
fine.
only is that person going through shit, but you're still taking away what they don't have. Man, it just fuels my blood.
And that's the gang mentality, right? It's that follower mentality. You know, most people that are in gangs have very low self-esteems, and they get caught up in this corruption. There's a lot of good brothers that are in these gangs and sisters that are in these gangs, and they're just looking for somebody to love them, you know? And that's why they join these gangs.
Yeah.
They join these gangs, and then it winds up corrupting them, and they wind up losing themselves. And a lot of them lose their lives. They lose their souls. They become lost souls.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. It's kind of sad with Skid Row, bro, because it's like not just the mentally ill, but there's a lot of people that are in Skid Row, from what I've seen in these documentaries, that used to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they just gave up on life, or certain situations didn't work out for them where they got divorced, lost all their fortune, and they wind up going there.
Yeah, bro. Every person has a different situation. But here's the trippy part. 2 blocks from there, you see these courthouses, you see these condominiums. Like, there's money there, bro. There's money to be made and spent, but they're not utilizing it because that's how they want to keep them, and that's how they make their money. Homelessness is a cash cow. Just ask Gavin Newsom.
Oh, Gavin Newsom. Let me tell you about that governor, bro. I think he's one of the worst of the worst of the worst. I mean, it's crazy how. Matter of fact, isn't he up for like the rest of the governors? Isn't he up for election? Like,
well, he is. What's her name's nephew, Pelosi. So yeah, of course he's gonna.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wait a second. He's Nancy Pelosi's nephew. That makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Look, here in California, the people, the families that run and that like just milk California are these families: the Browns, the Gettys, the Gavin Newsoms, the Pelosi's. Those families are the families that are just fucking ripping apart California. Because if you really look into it, the Getty family, man, they have a Getty museum, and that I'm getting into a whole nother rabbit hole here, but
no, that's
they
fine.
say that on the bottom there's dungeons, and then there's skeletons of remains of kids and stuff like that. So that family's been running the show for a long time. And that's where the roots come in. The Newsoms, the Pelosi's, the Browns, the Jerry Browns, all those guys, at one point, they were governors of California.
Yeah, there's a big satanic web throughout the United States and throughout the world. I can tell you here where I live in the Tampa Bay area, especially here in St. Petersburg, there is a satanic vortex. I come across these people on a regular basis, but they can't look me in my eyes because I still got light in me. So
Oh yeah,
they know who the
they know.
children of the Most High are. But going back to like these families and stuff, because it's all interconnected. It's one big web of deception, which I called the long legacy of lies.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
were things when Mr. Terminator, I'll be back, when Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor? How were things over there?
Oh, he was a governor? Really? Wow. Not much of a
Yeah,
difference. It
yeah.
was just more of a publicity stunt for him, and he made money. That's for sure.
And he pretty much made California broke, right? Because by the time he was leaving, California was already in debt.
Well,
Uh,
you gotta think. His wife is Democrat. I mean, she comes from a line of the Kennedys,
yeah, the Kennedys.
so he was heavily influenced on policies that were run by the Democrats. So that's one obvious point there that he didn't make jack, you know. So it was just a publicity stunt because he didn't do nothing. He absolutely. I think I was in my 20s when he was governor, or yeah, late 20s. I don't remember him doing anything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a publicity stunt, bro. And it's just like George Carlin said, you know, it's all a big, it's a club and we're not in it. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. It's a big
It's
club and
one
we're not
big
in it.
club and you're not in it. I remember that.
Yeah, so but we just gotta like I tell everybody, bro, life is a game. We just gotta play it better than them. We just gotta
Absolutely.
find because there's like you say, where there's a will, there's a way. And in this game of life, there's a lot of opportunities out there. We just gotta stay focused. I
Yeah.
keep the eye on the prize because if we just like I don't know get distracted or something and that's it.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about keeping your eyes on the prize. And from my perspective, the prize being the Most High, being God, being the Almighty, the Creator, our Creator,
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
His Son, the Messiah, Christ. Let's talk about what because you are a man that grew up in a family that's spiritual, that you do follow the word of the Most High. You
I try. I try. I try. You know,
we all
we
try,
all.
brother.
Yeah.
We all try. I mean, like it's a never ending process, right? I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
none of us are perfect. That's why we got to repent every day, right?
Yeah.
We got to stay in repentance because we all going to make mistakes. We're all going to sin. We're all dirty and we got to take that shower to cleanse ourselves.
Nobody goes to the hospital because they're healthy, right?
Exactly. So, but can you talk a little bit about, what spirituality and being rooted in the word of the Most High and following that, those principles, what spirituality has done for you? Do you have any like stories that you can share with the listeners about why you still have faith and what faith and what it's done for you in your life? Do you have any stories you can share
Yeah.
about that?
I may have a couple of testimonials, bro. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, bro, I have even before I became born again, I had like 7 or 8 near death experiences throughout my life before I met Christ. And uh, after the fact that I accepted Jesus into my heart, I've gone to 2 life or death experiences. So yeah, bro, and it's always him telling me I'm here. You know, whether you fail him, whether I don't know what you're going in life through in life, but if you're a child of God, if you're light, like what Reggie says, he's going to be there and he's going to talk to you. And throughout my life, he's been talking to me. I just didn't know. Like through when I was growing up, I've always had that voice, or people say it's either your imaginary friend or your conscious or whatever. But I've always heard a clear voice in me, telling me, guiding me. Because me growing up, I didn't have a father figure. My dad was absent since I was 2 years old. I've hardly met him. Before he passed away, I was 17. So I didn't really have a father figure in my life. So that led me to him as well. So I guess he kind of held me. And I'm sorry, I'm getting.
No, that's okay, bro. Listen, that's what the testimonial is all about, right? It's, you know, I could feel the presence of the Most High in this conversation right now, because that's the emotions. And let me tell you something, brother. Don't feel ashamed about crying, because I've broken down on my podcast a couple of times, and real men cry. You know, there's this whole stigma, especially in our cultures, especially in the Latino cultures. You know, it's all about that machismo and all that nonsense, and that's so far
we
from
gotta
the
be
truth.
tough. We gotta be tough. You know,
No, but that's the whole thing, is that being a sensitive man and being in tune with your emotions makes you more of a man than the man that suppresses that. Because when you suppress that, that can be fueled into anger and depression. And that's a big problem with a lot of our brothers and sisters, especially the young men growing up in Black and brown cultures, that we're taught that, and we wind up going into deep depression because we can't express our true emotions. So don't feel like, listen, I like it when another grown man can cry because of the love and the experiences that they've had with Christ, with the Messiah, with the Most High, with reading scriptures. You know what I mean? It's done amazing things for my life, and continues to do so present day, you know, because just like you, I've had 7 life-death experiences since I was young. You know, I shared one of them with you about how I got set up to get killed by one of my best friends when I was 15 years old. But because of the Heavenly Father, it didn't happen. And I'm still here today going strong.
Because you're chosen. You know,
exactly.
You're chosen.
Exactly. We are chosen. And the only reason that we are chosen is because of our faith, because of the walk that we take towards salvation. And it's very important that a lot of us understand this, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there that are listening to the show that feel lost. You know, I had a nephew that committed suicide at 26 years old. Wow. And that really changed my life. It changed my sister's life, my brother, his brother, his sister, everybody in the family is still, it's almost like it happened yesterday, and it happened in 2013. And when I think about it, it's very emotional, but, you know, just like him, there's a lot of people like him that were in pain and didn't know how to tell anybody, and kept it secret and kept it within. And, you know, we couldn't see the telltale signs, even though we saw things that were a little off. There was a lot of things that we wasn't aware of. And, you know, we had to find out the hard way, because once somebody kills himself, that's pretty much it. So, you know,
pretty much.
You know, with your situation now, right? You said that you have children, right? How many children do you have?
Yeah, I have 2 kids, 2 boys, a 10 and a 5.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure that you probably would be in agreement that when your children are born, it's an experience that you can't express into words, right?
Right.
And the reason I say that is because when my daughter was born, it's something I can't express. It's like experience that. Yeah, it's like you have to be there. You have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah, you have to experience it
because it is supernatural. It's transformational, and you really feel the presence of the Most High when that happens, it's like you really kind of see it and feel it on a emotional and I would say like a spiritual level that can't be expressed into words. It's ineffable. But being a
And a
father,
lot of people don't understand that, and they won't, because it's not something, like you say, it's not something that I could explain to you. You
that's
have to
right.
feel it. You have to believe it. It's faith. You
But
have
being
to
a
believe.
father, let me ask you this: being a father now, you have a 5-year and a 10-year-old, and all praises for that. Um, what has that done for your life?
Oh man. First of all, having kids is a blessing. That's one thing for sure.
Absolutely.
Second, they're the biggest teachers in life. I've learned so much. My biggest son has taught me more than I taught him. And and they don't even have to like lecture you, or just the way they act, the way their innocence speaks to you, and it's a life lesson. Like, you just have to be there to experience the way, God speaks to you through your son, through your wife, or sometimes through food, you know? And you just, like you say, you just got to be there. And for me, when I was growing up as a kid, as a young adult, I would tell myself, I'm never going to get married. I don't want to have kids. Oh, that's not for me. I want to party all the time. But then there was a certain age where I hit where I did want it, that I did wanted kids. I did want to get married. So now that I do have all of that, that's like my why now. That's one of the reasons I did what I did, because I couldn't leave my kids sadness. Like, I'd rather me sacrifice the meat the way I used to eat my pleasures and have their father with them. And that's
Absolutely.
that's one of the decisions that I don't regret doing, because now I'm leaving a legacy to them,
Absolutely,
and
brother.
I'm teaching them how to be more healthy, how to exercise, the importance of waking up in the morning and praying to God. The first thing you do is give thanks, and just set boundaries, principles, and just values, because that's what they want. They want to break up the family. They want to take out the masculine, the head of the household, the head, out of the picture, and they want the system to run your kids and your life. And we have to stop that. As men, that's a big responsibility, a big burden. That's why a lot of guys suicide. That's why a lot of guys take their lives away, because they don't people don't know what they're going through. And the
Absolutely.
system is rigged. The system is rigged like that, because let me just tell you a little brief right now that I'm talking about this. My stepdad is fighting custody for his grandchild. She's 10 years old. She's in LA County and we're in San Bernardino County. Now, the people that are running the business over there, the people that have the custody of the child, don't want to give the child to our to my stepdad, because the child is worth $3 million in the system over there, and over there, she doesn't have a future. Her mom is locked up. Her dad, I don't know where he's at. And her grandma, she has cancer. She's in dialysis. So the whole environment there for her is just pure evil. And the system knows. And right here with my stepdad, she'll have her own room, and it's only gonna be my stepdad and my mom that lives in that house. It's a 4-bedroom house, 3 bathrooms. Why don't they give it to them? Why he qualifies? He did everything that they asked for him to do, and yet, oh no, sorry, you didn't qualify. And that's how we know that that's a cash cow too. And that's how these fathers, that's how they end up killing their kids and their spouses and themselves, because the system is rigged.
That's right. It's a very draconian demonic system.
Yes.
You know, they want to harvest the children for a multitude of purposes. Money is probably the least of the reasons why they want to keep the children in there, especially with all this child trafficking that's being exposed right now.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
And it's a big problem, especially over there in California and places like Arizona, because it's right there by the border. So there's so much stuff that goes on the Mexican border, where trafficking, you know, children and people and all types of stuff that goes on in those areas. It's really big business.
And it's wide open.
It's wide open.
Wide open right now. There's nobody, there's nothing, nobody checking for nothing.
Well, I pray that your stepdad winds up getting his grandchild. I really do, because if he doesn't,
we're
man,
fighting big time.
There's no telling what can happen to that little girl.
It's a young lady. She's 10 years old. God only knows if she hasn't, you know, been molested or something. We don't know. We can't have contact with her. That's what's messed up about this whole thing.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that I was talking about with you earlier before we did the show, where I'm like, boy, man, between California and New York, where I originally come from, and even here in Florida, the system is really bad. But between California and New York, man, I think those two states, when it comes to child welfare and the way the systems run politically, it's a shit show. It really is. It's a shit show. And it's one of the reasons why, in my personal belief, is why I can't wait until all of this shit comes crashing down, because this system that we have here called the United States of America, it needs to fall. It needs to be wiped off the damn planet, because we need something better than this. And it's definitely not what we have here. And around the world too, right? Because that one world order beast system is rising, and we are coming to that point where the scriptures talks about in Revelations, where the battle's gonna ensue. You know, it's already happening, but it's gonna come to that point where, I truly believe that we're gonna have that ultimate spiritual war. You know, we're gonna have that ultimate spiritual war.
It's brewing. Yes.
It is. And all of the prophecies are coming to light, right? Like the Euphrates rivers drying up.
Amen.
The rivers coming out of the Ghazi desert, you know, that are just forming, like it talks about in the book of Isaiah. I mean, it's quite amazing. And you know what? It makes me feel good. As bad as things are out here, my love for the Most High and for the Messiah, and just for this spiritual life that I'm having physically here while on this planet, because we all spiritual beings having a physical experience. I'm excited, even though through all this chaos, I don't look at it like, oh man, things are messed up, man.
No,
it's fucked.
It's like reassuring. It's like reassuring. It's like, yeah, bro, I hear you, bro. It's like,
it's the
so
faith over
fulfilling.
fear, right? The faith over fear.
Yes. Amen
And
to that.
something I've been saying a lot, and you know, let me know what you think about this. But when it comes with the battle between righteousness versus wickedness, I personally believe, based on what I've been seeing in my personal life as well as around the world, righteousness is whooping some major ass right now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, obviously, you know, Satan's running amok right now, and there's a lot of people suffering, like many of us, long suffering, right? But righteousness is whooping some ass, bro. It's like if Satan was the bully, the kid that's always getting bullied and taking his lunch money is now punching the bully in the stomach, in the face, and like, give me back my money. Like, I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of just good versus evil, and good is coming out on top.
Giant waking up. Yeah,
that's right. and a lot of people are waking up spiritually, man. This great awakening of what I call the great understandings is happening right now. And that's what my season 5 is going to be all about. Is the whole theme is great understandings, which you will definitely be a part of. You'll be back on for season 5, even though we're still in season 4, about to end it this Friday. We're going to have our 400th episode this Friday night. I'm going to have my 400th episode. So it's going to be called, it's called, damn, I had a brain fart there for a second. Season 4 is, we're still unbroken and still rising. And that's going to be the 400th episode this Friday. So maybe you can join it for a little bit if you have time. You know, I know you're a busy family man and stuff, but if you can make time, we're going to be doing that show on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that would be 4 p.m. your time. Yeah. So I have 3 guests coming on. So if you got a good Wi-Fi and everything, and you know, you can come on.
Hopefully it's not raining and
hopefully it's no storm. But yeah, you could come on because I got 3 other brothers coming on all at the same time through my StreamYard account, and we're just gonna be
I see.
We're gonna be having a conversation. So you're more than welcome if you could make it, you know. But
I appreciate
speaking
that,
of
Reggie, and I'm honored.
Yeah, no problem. And for those that don't know, my name is Reggie. So that's why he's calling me Reggie. He doesn't call me Aura, which is perfectly fine. But for those that are wondering
family, right, Reggie? We're family. That's why.
Exactly. So for those that don't know, my legal birth name is Reggie. But going back to like
just expose you. My bad, bro. Man.
No, listen. There's a lot of my listeners know my name is Reggie. It's not something it's not something I keep secret. You know, I actually liked the name. I was named after Reggie Jackson, the baseball player.
I was gonna assume that, but I was like, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, because my father is a big Yankee fan to this day. Fan. So, you know, it's you know, when you're from the Bronx too, to be a Yankee fan, it's almost like it almost comes with the territory, you know, unless you, most people from Queens are Mets fans, but you know, I'm a Yankee.
I see.
I used to be a Yankee fan. I don't watch sports like that no more, but, there's another question.
Once you realize that for the bread and circus, you stop watching all of that, bro.
That's right. That's right. And that was one of those, you know, now that we brought it up, right? Let's talk about that. That was one of those things where when my nephew committed suicide, something happened to me, bro. And I never forget. I remember ESPN was on in my sister's house. It was the first I had drove down with my brother, my aunt, and my cousins to go to my sister because my nephew died in my brother's house. And his body was shipped over to Florida where he got buried. So we drove down there 2 days after his death. And I remember that we were all in the house. Some things had subsided as far as people crying and stuff, you know. And I was really loopy around that time. Like, I didn't know if I was coming or going. I was just trying to stay strong for my family. I was trying to keep it all together. And I remember that ESPN was on. And I remember that the whole entire TV screen was blurry. It was like blurry. It's like I couldn't see it. All I can hear is the voices. And I remember feeling at that moment how insignificant the worldly world of things was at that present moment. And how the only thing that truly mattered was love. And the love that my family was sharing at the time in my nephew's loss of life, and how certain family members that haven't spoken to each other in years were all coming together based on this tragedy. And I could see the love between my family and how that brought me so much peace. That
closure.
It just was like, this shit doesn't mean anything to me. And ever since that situation happened back in 2013, I completely started
see sports the same way.
I just stopped watching it. The only thing I was watching was UFC because I'm really into mixed martial arts, but I stopped watching that
Right.
now. As of last year, the
mhm.
beginning of last year, I slowly but surely got away from that as well. Like I
So
stopped.
you know Eddie Bravo, right? You know Eddie Bravo?
Of course, yeah, of course I know
Oh,
Eddie
okay.
Bravo. But like all of that, I'll be honest with you, like it just slowly but surely left me. It's like it was like you know how the body regenerates cells and completely restructures itself every 7 years?
Okay.
I went through that process spiritually when it came to the world. Like sports doesn't mean shit to me anymore, bro. Not even UFC. I can't tell you the last time I watched. And I was listen, I was watching UFC
Die-hard
every die hard. Listen, I'm so die hard. Look at my this is my mouse pad. Look at my mouse pad. I've had this mouse pad for I don't know. I've had this mouse pad for like 10 years now.
Uh-huh.
And as you can see, my mouse pad says UFC, right? It's an octagon.
Right.
That's how much I'm into UFC, right? But not anymore, bro. It's so insignificant to me. It really just doesn't matter anymore. It's like whatever. Like what matters to
Yeah.
me is what we're doing right now at this present moment. Like I'm experiencing you, you're having an experience with me. We're connecting as brothers in Christ in the Most High. This is what matters. Like everything else is irrelevant because what my nephew's death made me realize is that there's way more important things to life than the things that we value in life that we think matter, but they really don't. We're just indoctrinated and socially conditioned to believe that those are the things that matter, but they really don't. Because if the grids were to shut down right now, like you said, who do we have? We just have us.
We have each
Right?
other.
We're not going to have TV. Who's going to give a shit about if the Lakers are going to win the championship? Who's going to care about who's going to win the
Cardi
World
B
Series?
say? What did Cardi B rap about? Like, who cares? Like,
That's right. Who gives a shit about Kanye West knowing that the real Jews are black people
oh
and all
my
that?
God.
Like
That's
we've known
another
that for
tool right there.
years. You know what I'm saying? We all know that we are the children of Israel, that the children of Israel are scattered on all four corners of the planet. The scriptures don't lie. So what? It's like everybody's like, oh, look at him. And it's all for distraction. Because I tell people too, wait till January, February. We'll see what type of tune, Kanye Jackson, or I call him Kanye Sharpton, is going to be talking about next. But with that being said, let's
That's
talk
funny.
about, and I don't know if you know about this, because if you don't, we don't have to talk about it. But right now, there's a lot of propaganda going around when it comes to Latinos. And the big propaganda right now is they're trying to make Latinos into the new white supremacists. They're trying to make Latinos go against our black brothers and sisters, which are not really black people. We're not really brown people. Those are all social constructs. Because
right, yes.
if you do your research,
Labels.
Mexicans,
Mhm.
Dominicans, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Guyanans, Africans, we're all the children of Israel. When you do your research, okay? Christopher Columbus knew that, or should I say Christopher Colon knew that. And I tell people all the time, the brothers and sisters like you and I, that our family speaks Spanish, that is not our language. That is the language of our enslavement. That is the language of our colonizers. That is not our original language. Our original languages are different dialects of Hebrew that have been watered down throughout the ages based on colonization. And with that being said, what I was going to ask you is that there's this major social engineering propaganda to turn Latinos into the new white supremacists towards so-called black people. And I just wanted to get your take on that because
well, this is news to me. I haven't heard it over here.
So I'm glad you said that because it is a big thing right now that they're pushing politically and within social media. Yes. Like who is that lady that Mexican politician that made those comments about a senator's son who had an adopted son who was black and she called him a monkey and stuff? Did you hear about that? and they really like publicized it. So
Because
let me
I
actually,
don't really get into politics, but I don't know. I haven't.
well, let me ask you
You got me
this.
there.
Growing up in California, especially when it comes to the gangs, right? Because you have a lot of Latino gangs in California, right? You got
Right.
what's they called? The MS.
We got the Crips, we got the Bloods, we got the 18th Street, we got all of them. We got all of them. And there's this one city where on each block there's a different gang. So yeah, it's an abundance of gangs here.
And how do the gangs get along more or less when it comes to the so-called Latino brown gangs with the African American so-called black gangs?
I mean, everybody knows their boundaries. As long as you don't step on each other's boundaries, you're good. You know, another day and they just run their business. But as far as creating like heat or division here, I haven't heard anything about Latinos and blacks like getting it on, like as far as like the gang members. That,
well,
like,
that's
I don't
good.
know.
That's good because that means that it's not working. You know, there's only I've only seen a few people subscribe to that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In certain cities and certain places, and then there's people that have certain platforms that subscribe to that bullshit, but they're gonna get their judgment. You know, life ain't going too well for those types of people that are trying to create that division.
Bro.
That's what I'm seeing.
People aren't stupid. You know, they
right.
know what's up. They know. And especially if you're street savvy and if you're street smart, you can play a person like that. They know what you're all about. And these guys here, as long as, like I said, you don't step on their turf, you know, run your business somewhere else, you're good. But as far as like division with race and stuff like that, there's nothing weird like that. I haven't heard anything.
Let's talk about culture. When it comes to the Mexican culture, what are some of the things that you love about your Mexican culture growing up, and even, you know, as a family man now? And is your wife Mexican as well?
My wife, she's from El Salvador. She's
El Salvadorian. Yeah. Okay.
She makes pupusas and tamales and all that stuff.
Oh, nice. Shout out to all the people in El Salvador.
Melvin. Yeah.
A todo mi gente en El Salvador. Gracias por escuchando. So, you know, growing up Mexican, what are some of the things that you really appreciate and love about your culture?
Well, growing up, most definitely is when we would get together, like during the holidays, all the cousins and the aunts, and make champurrados, and that was like one of my best memories growing up. Like, just get together as a family. We have a cookout. Everybody brought different food from all sorts of because we had like mixed cultures as well in our family. So like we would bring out different plates, and I remember we were strong unity family. But throughout the years, I've noticed that it just deteriorated, and especially with COVID and having the 6 feet. Now everybody's weary. Everybody's like, oh, AC, don't get near me, or you know, it's like. Everything's made by design. So that growing up, that was one of the major key things that I used to love, and that's what's hold me and kept me grounded is unity with like my family. It's just that like having. Hello?
No, I was going to ask you, can you let the listeners know in English what you said? Churrascos. I'm not. Churras. I can't even pronounce it right. How do you say it? Champurrado. So what is a champurrado?
Champurrado, it's you can make it. Everybody has their own ingredients, but it's most based of a corn type of substance and liquidy, and then it's like a like chocolate, like hot cocoa chocolate type of. It has a texture, but maize. It's like a corn type of substance. I don't know how to explain it.
What are those things? Because I used to buy them in New York when I lived in upstate. I used to go to this Mexican supermarket.
Bag, huh?
Oh, bro, I'm about to go to the Mexican restaurant after this show.
Oh.
They got an all-you-can-eat buffet for like $15.
Right? Damn, that's a bargain right there.
What is that when el maíz con mayo, and it has the cheese that you put on it? It's the corn on the stick, and they put the mayonnaise. They glaze the mayonnaise on it, and they pour this cheese with
elotes.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, I
those are good.
love
And then they
me
put
some
chili
elotes.
powder on top.
Yes, bro.
Yes, bro.
That's like crack to
I
me.
could eat 5 of those, bro. I could eat 5 of those.
Yo, yeah.
Most
Uh,
definitely.
let me tell you, Mo, it's like crack to me, bro. It's like, listen, give it to me. Like, I'm like,
can't have enough, huh?
and then of course taquitos. You know, I love taquitos. I love tacos.
Taquitos,
all that
tortas,
stuff, bro. Yes,
pozole, menudo.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, bro.
You know,
I
us,
love that.
us Mexicans, man. When we cook, we go all out. That's one of the reasons why we have diabetes. That's one of the reasons why we're high in obesity. That's one of the reasons why we're dying of cancer, because we indulge in stuff that we're not supposed to.
Yeah, gluttony, man, is a sin, right?
Oh yeah,
and that's the whole, like you were mentioning earlier about eating for entertainment opposed to eating for fuel, for energy. A couple of things that I want to cover with you. Like, what do you feel like, you know, for the people listening, what are some of the important things to you that matter the most that you would want to share with the listeners in regards to what's important to living this life in these days and times right now? What do you think are some of the main fundamental principles that people should adhere to and be aware of?
Well, critical times now more than ever, we gotta be right with God. That's priority. Get right with God, because He's the one that's gonna give us whatever we need, regardless what we're going through. That's my top priority right there. And then just, you know, have your priorities straight. What matters in life? Like, do you have family? Do you have a wife? Do you have kids? Your mom, your brothers? What matters in life? And just be of a service. Value. Just don't think of yourself, me. Go out there and provide, or if you not just money wise, you have a certain skill that you could service somebody. I don't know, go and cut somebody's lawn or something. I don't know. Only you know. But have your priorities straight, know your why, and fuck the bullshit. You know, disconnect from the TV. If you have a TV, just watch it to watch documentaries or stuff like that. But cut the cable, cut the BS out of your life. And just don't worry about what the news says, because the news is there for a reason, to keep us stressed, to keep our immune system low, and just overall, just to keep us in fear. In fear, no hope. There's no hope without them. So that's another thing right there. Just cut out the BS and just, you know, stay active. Be I don't know, walk, run, go to the gym. You know, try to stay active, be positive, because the minute we stop doing things and we just lay around, our mind just starts thinking about stupid stuff. And that's not right. So yeah, just overall, just get your priorities straight and just use your common sense. We all have, I'm pretty sure all your listeners here have a good common sense, because they do listen to you, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, just live your life the way you know you should live it, and just be servants and do good, and God will do the rest. Because me, I try not to stress on things that I can't control. And then that's one of the things that growing up in the Latino or Hispanic family, that's really hard to do because we stress about everything. And that's pretty much it, Reggie. It's been an honor, and thank you
Yes,
for
it has.
thank you
It's
for
been
having
a
me. I hope I was of value, and hopefully I've impacted a couple lives here today, us together, and hopefully we'll do this routinely, make it a routine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But we're definitely going to have you come on for season 5. That's going to be after I'm going to take a week off to set myself up and put out a lot of promotional marketing for season 5 to make people aware of it. And definitely going to have you come on the show. But I can tell you that you brought a lot of great substance to this show today. And that I think that the listeners are going to get a lot of great information from what you were able to share. People are now more aware of the state of California and how things are done out there, and just like a lot of places in the United Shenanigans of America. But you know, we're all in this together, man. We're all having one big experience all at the same time, and it's important, like you said. The most important thing you said is be right with God. You know, we got to be right with the Most High. If we're not right with the Most High, then everything else is pretty much going to go to shit, right? So we gotta stay in repentance. We gotta stay, you know, on this righteous tightrope, and maintain our balance, and really be rooted into the word of the Most High, so that we can truly be the best version of what we can possibly be, to be great servants. So, with that being said, brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for listening to this show. Download the show. I'm going to have Julian Arce's information. I'm going to have his link to his Instagram page, which is Alkalize Warrior. If you want to get a Kangen water machine or learn more about ionic water, you can reach out to him on his Instagram page. He also has other businesses that he's involved in regards to network marketing. And just if you want to subscribe to somebody who provides valuable information on their channel and not stupid stuff, definitely check out Alkalize Warrior, and I'll have the link in the description box. Thank you, Julio, again for coming on to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and we're going to have you come back, and definitely stay on the line, because I'm going to talk with you. And like I always say, brothers and sisters, and I am going to play some music at the end of this broadcast, people, so stay tuned. But like I always say, brothers and sisters, very important that we stay disciplined in these days and times. So don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. And when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. So remember, all things are possible through the grace of the Most High. So, brothers and sisters, be that light, and don't let anybody try to dim that light, because we are in a spiritual warfare. So it's important that we stay on the righteous path. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love, and light. Barakatah, brothers and sisters.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line when we gotta let the sword fly. All praises to the Most High. First off, I just want to say that every single day a blessing, so I'm really stepping, trying to find my way back. Counted the cost, repented the flaws, I'm trying to live. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven abroad. Have hope in my dreams, I pray I don't fall. I pray for the ones who is lost. I'm feeling the sorrow of times. I'm looking on up in the sky. I'm seeing a lot of the signs. It's either repent or you die. Cannot be walking two sides. Choose to stay who you ride for. Cemented in faith till I die. You don't really wanna fall off. Keep your head up. Keep my sword with me with armor. We won't let up. Sharpen up your brothers, others who we care for. Always shine the light for the Most High in Christ. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line when we gotta let the sword fly.
I wonder why we was created, but later I got my answers. Was searching scriptures daily, trying to get rid of this cancer, the spirit. Bearing witness, I live these holy commandments. Repent, or you gon' perish. Destruction is way too scary. Every day I wake, I give all praises to the Most High. Living in this lie, learn the truth, or you gon' die. Ain't much time left, the Savior coming, looking to the sky. It ain't no disguise, gotta armor up my own mind. Gotta get it, spirit dripping, these gifts don't got no limits. I'm just wishing I could live in that holy kingdom with them, focused on the mission. Eyes locked in tunnel vision, no paganism. We truly follow Christ, that real Christian.
It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line, we gotta let the sword fly.
All praise to the Most High. Repent and perish.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
In the mix.
Trapped in a world where they don't want higher learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't want to see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of higher learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of higher learning. They don't want nobody having that knowledge. Waking up in a different light, got my mind right. It took me time just to put it together. You know you not learning nothing when you second guessing, because it all lies. They put us in school for 12 years plus. Got the nerve to give us a paper certificate. I've been watching quite some time. Finally, that I see what's going on. Every time that I lay down, yeah, I feel, yeah, sad.
I'll start off my morning run about 6 o'clock. You know, like I got a choice. It's just it's rough.
Trapped in a world where they don't want higher learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't want to see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of higher learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of higher learning.
Remember
remember 6 a.m. waking up to get to class. Now it be 5 a.m. I'm rising up to hit them laps. School never taught me to be this disciplined with myself. All praise to Yahweh, been Yahweh helping me with my health. The spirit keeps me up even though we all packed in the jungle. The elites be lying, they want you mentally trapped in a bubble. You see them smile on TV, always acting like they love you. Don't wanna see you rise up, they wanna see you ash and rubber. I keep my acts in humbleness in hopes that the Lord will favor me even more, cause he's the one that has my number. He's been my guide, he's made me wise. He's all I know until the end, I'm gonna grind. Looking up to the sky, trying to stay righteous with the stone on my side. The crown of life is my wine. I'm asking Father, please help guide me to the light.
Trapped in a world, where they don't want how you learn. No, they want everybody the same. They don't want to see that proper growth and development. Expanding my brain so I can learn what I can. All because of how you learning. Learning knowledge that I never thought I would. You get me, yeah, cause of how you learning.
I've been pushing on. Your word is healing my soul. Looking in the mirror, I see where I need to change. I see where you heal my pain. The battle goes on the road on. Messiah coming soon, can't doze off. He woke us out the grave, thus a sin off. I jumped inside my mirror, where it's all thoughts. Abba, I pray that you protect me from my own harm. Clean me through the Messiah, I need my soul charged. I'm looking through the script, so don't hop, be vigilant. Pray for the chosen generation, they the final remnant. And they only getting in through repentance, no more sin. So I pray for all my brothers and my sisters to the land. Your word has healed my soul. Before my very eyes, I'm looking in that mirror, and it's not a day that I don't cry. I've been pushing on. Your word is healing my soul. Looking in the mirror, I see where I need to change. I see where you heal my pain.
Father, keep me locked in. I keep replaying my failures like it's a top 10. At times I hear you speak, but I ain't listening. I'd rather play hardball like I'm from Michigan, forgive me. Always fill me up when I be empty. Always give me strength when Satan tempt me. You do. Clean me up and put your spirit in me. Solution to the trauma that's within me. Opened up our eyes and helped to see the cause. Spiritual liberation, he done freed us all. Know the trolls is watching, we gon' overlook them. Ain't no being stagnant, we gon' keep it pushing.
I've been pushing on. Your word is healing my soul. Looking in the mirror, I see where I need to change. I see where you heal my pain. Healing my soul.
This concludes the Network of Awareness podcast. For more information on the Network of Awareness, please subscribe via email to our website, networkofawareness.com, and follow us on Spreaker.com or any other listening apps you use. For any questions about the NOA, email us at aura@networkofawareness.com. Thank you for listening to one of the fastest growing podcast shows on society and culture in America and abroad. When you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. Peace and blessings.